Yo, 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 what's good, everyone? All my alphas, all my sigmas, all my sigmets, all my incels, all my incel apologists, what's good? It's your boy Pierce, back with another video today, and today I'm doing a bit of intuitive recording. So I was literally just walking back from the gym, I had some things on my mind, and I've decided, you know what, let's have a little chat about these things that have been on my mind. So excuse me if I go off topic, which I probably will, and excuse me if I don't make much sense, because that is just how I am. I'm a human. Sometimes I mess up, but hey. Okay, so mainly what's been on my mind, just for context, literally me and my fiance yesterday watched or rewatched Fight Club. So that's probably, you can tell where my mental state is right now. So yeah, it's about to get woke. Super woke, man. Fuck the establishment, all that kind of shit. Anyway, so yeah, I was just walking in from the gym. My brain was just doing its thing, thinking about random stuff. And something that came across my mind was just the fact that, I feel like, for me anyway, and for the people around me and what I see, there's been like a huge shift towards like self-improvement. Like, I'm sure you've noticed it, like it's everywhere now. Like, there's a push within society at large, I guess, to kind of improve and become an alpha, sigma, I don't know, well, I don't know, yeah, all that shit. So, and yeah, we've seen the rise of people like Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, even like YouTubers like Hamza and that kind of stuff, kind of explode recently, based on, a lot of it is just due to the fact that it feels like a lot of young men are like aimless and like lost, and don't have any good examples or role models of like what to do with this life. Because if you think about it in like a biological way, which I do sometimes, like, we're all literally just spawned on this planet with like no real instructions of like what to do with our lives. And then based on the hundreds, if not thousands, of changing factors, like, you kind of have to make the most out of your situation, I guess. And I think for a lot of people, they're like struggling to do that a lot, which makes sense. Like, I feel like, I don't know if I can really quote Fight Club properly because I literally just watched it yesterday, but I think there was something that what's his name? Tyler Durden, I think was his name. That character says it's like basically how men in today's society like have no like purpose. Then because there's no danger. Like, our danger. No, I'm probably saying it wrong. But the whole idea is that like the war that we fight now is like a spiritual war, like a psychological war. And I think that's just kind of the epitome of what's going on right now. Like, a lot of guys, not even just guys, a lot of people in general are just spiritually dead. And yeah, that causes them to just look outwards to find the solutions to their problems. And I think a lot of the time, if not all the time, the solutions is always going to be something within yourself. But that's been the story for me anyway. So yeah, I just feel like a lot of young men especially have kind of fallen into this like herd mentality, where they kind of just follow a leader, just pick someone to follow, and just fucking do whatever they say, and hope they get the same results as that person. And I'm guessing this is kind of the way men have been forever, maybe. There's always been leaders and followers. Of course, but it feels like nowadays the leaders are like literally just people with cameras that like say things and then post it online, which I guess is the only way it's going to be now, isn't it? Because the world is so online now. Information is so vast that spreading it online is the only really way that makes sense. But yeah, I feel like there's a distinct lack of purpose as well with a lot of people in the world, mainly just due to the fact we, again, don't have any real issues, if we're being honest. Of course there are issues, but I'm talking about like the West specifically, like, the US, the UK, basic, those kind of countries. There's, the issues are kind of, the issues, but they're not like life or death issues. And I feel like men need to feel needed. And I think that's the opposite of what's going on now. I think more than ever, the world is telling men that we're expendable. We're like a bit of we're just dangerous. We're just like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but that's the general consensus, especially in the West, of course. Like, and I guess part of that is the feminist movement. I'm not here to blame the feminism for men's issues, but it has become a factor, and it makes sense. The same way with kind of racial issues where they've tried to correct a imbalance, and I've almost ended up kind of overcorrecting, where you're now disadvantaging the side that was once an advantage, when the whole point is to make it equal. Yeah, so I feel like men don't feel like we're important, which in the grand scheme of things may be a fact, but I feel like for men, we're neither illusion, at least, that they're important. And I think, especially with the death of like the nuclear family, the typical gender roles, it's just left men lost and confused and just desperate for someone to tell them what to do. And then here comes, the virtual daddies of today, as I said, the Tates and the Jordan Petersons, here to, rescue men from their plight. But for me, I feel like the key thing that's missing in society is the father figure, and having that strong presence in your life as a child that kind of tells you right from wrong and instills certain beliefs and ethics into you as like a young person. Because I feel like nowadays it's quite rare to see that kind of figure. Like, even just the people in my life that I know, most people don't have that figure in their life, which is kind of crazy because that was the default back in the day. Of course, I'm not saying those days were perfect, but I think they had certain things right. Because even in my case, with my father who passed recently, I feel like when he did pass, it was like it didn't hit me as much because he was never like that strong father figure, the one that kind of instills things into you. And I feel like that's something that everyone kind of needs, because not only is it self-serving for the father to kind of feel like he's needed, if he's competent at his role, it does he sets up his family to be in a better position than they would be without him. But now, if anything, we're kind of told that women can raise kids by themselves, and those kids will be just as fine as everyone else, apparently. Which I think we all kind of think. I think we all know, like, deep down, that's it's bullshit, isn't it? Like, realistically, how can one person raise a child in today's society when everything's so expensive? But that's a whole nother topic. I just think men desire like to have like a common goal with other men, and today that's just become the common goal has just become to be rich, get bitches. I don't know, like that's the common goal now with lots of men, and it's just become a big competition of who can hold the most pennies. Like yeah, it just feels like it feels like modern life has become quite, let's say, I don't know, it's quite basic. It feels like everyone's chasing something that they know isn't going to fulfill them when they get it, but they're just chasing it because they feel like there's nothing else to do. And I think this like loss that men have of like not knowing their purpose and basically just defaulting to basically joining the rat race, I feel like it's almost systemic, like it's being pushed because it benefits society. Well, at least it benefits society money wise, because you're basically creating more brainless workers that just want to work and consume on that constant conveyor belt. And I guess if there were more fathers around who could instill values into children, and this doesn't have to be fathers, but that is the typical position. So just a figure that can do that with kids when they're young, to instill values that are bigger and that are more in depth than just the idea of just work and then spend your money and then work and spend your money and there's no long-term goal here to work towards. It's just go to school, work hard, and then that's about it, isn't it? Realistically, that's as good as advice you get nowadays. Because I feel like this modern ideal of self-improvement is just so basic. Like, oh, you just want to be a top G that gets lots of girls and smoke cigarettes. No, sorry, smoke cigars, because that's a big difference. Whatever. You just want to be a top G that smokes cigars and has meaningless sex with women and can buy cars. Like, I don't know. For me, this just feels like almost a joke of an existence. Like that's your main goal, just to be a guy that has sex with random girls and drives fancy cars, and yeah, it's just, man. But then again, people are free to do whatever they want, as we all know. But it's just hard to see men chase after that lifestyle when, let's be honest, 95% of the guys that are chasing for this can never reach it. Because that's the way that this system has been built. It's built that you're able to see these things that you want, all these fancy stuff, all this like materialistic things. You're able to see it, so you internally feel that you can get there. When realistically, the system isn't built for everyone to get there. That's just a fact. But the system benefits from everyone trying to get there. Because on your way there, you're going to have to spend some money. You're going to have to work a few extra jobs. You're going to have to do some side hustles, etc. When really, I don't think that's what actually gives your life meaning and gives your life purpose and even makes your life enjoyable. But then again, people don't know that because they either don't dive into these things deep enough to actually analyze them and see if that's something that I would actually fulfill them, or they're just not told by anyone, because again, there's no figure to instill these values into them. Because for me, I feel like the ideal version of self-improvement for men is to become the ideal father. Because for me, I think that's where my brain is slowly going towards. Because I'm a bit older than most of you guys, maybe. Because I think a lot of you guys are probably like, from what I've seen on my analytics, you guys are like 18 to 23 or something like that. So this may not, resonate with you guys yet. But for me, I'm 27. And I'm starting to think, okay, like, I'm getting to the point in my life where, you know, being a father is probably the next major step in my life. And I honestly think that most men want to be dads. I do. I actually do. I feel like if men could choose to, be a father, have a nice, comfortable, that's the key, a nice comfortable life where you're not stressing about the next paycheck, you're not stressing about, X, Y, and Z. I think most men would actually opt to be a father, especially if it's with the right woman. But this isn't something that's pushed. It's now what's being pushed is, be a playboy, sleep around with all these women. I don't know. I think for me, the next goal for me is to try and mold myself to be like the ideal, perfect father. Of course, I know that's, far-fetched. It's not something that's, it may be something that's not even attainable, but I feel like if I mold myself into that figure, I'll benefit the people around me. I'll be able to benefit the people I care about. And I know it will be fulfilling for me because I'm someone who really enjoys the feeling of being relied on and feeling like people value me. And I feel like as a father, especially as a competent father who's actually able to do their role, I feel like that's like one of the most fulfilling roles. Especially when you watch how, your kids develop and become, just... It's funny, I'm actually picturing this in my head right now. Like how it'd look and how it'd feel to feel proud of my future kids that I don't even have. Very strange feeling. I feel like is this like the male version of like being broody or like having baby fever? It might be. It might be my first time experiencing it, like, and it's live on camera, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think I've spoken enough, and I'll leave it there. So if you guys found this interesting, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments, and leave me a like and subscribe with that YouTube stuff. It helps me. And yeah, I'll speak to you guys later. Alright, have a good one. Peace.